Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in for our weekly Thursday sessions. I'm really honored and grateful to welcome Sanatana Dharma Prabhu. He is one of our favorites that joins us here and there on Thursdays. So this week's topic, as most of you saw, is catalysts for change. And my opener question that I wanted to pose to you, Prabhu, was what tends to catalyze change for you personally? So whether it's experiences, whether it's your faith, whether it's certain situations that haven't been hospitable to you, what really drives you to focus on changing for the better?
We are skipping the salads. We are directly going to the dessert. We're going to the crux. Yes, yes. Well, personally speaking, I wanted to give it right in the end, but then I'm not going to kind of answer it right now here. What inspires me to drive change, either in myself, in my fellow beings, the community that I'm trying to survive in, is seeing the gap, right? We all have a picture or an image of something that's ideal, right? And well, then we see what is the current situation, and then we see the gap there, and there's a drive from within. Well, we need to bridge the gap. That's something that immediately comes to my mind when we talk about what drives me for the change. Yes, to bridge the gap.
Okay. And I guess just building a little bit on that, I hear, as I'm sure most of us do on this call, I hear a lot of self help books that talk about inner transformation. A lot of motivational speakers talk about inner transformation. From a Bhakti yoga lens, what does that phrase or what do those two words really mean? And how do we focus on cultivating any sort of inner transformation that needs to happen within us?
Yes, yes. Transformation. Now you kind of made this word change because change can go either way. You change for the good, you don't change for the good. You've degraded. Either way is change. But now you're talking about transforming, is transforming yourself. If we talk about transformation, I would like to speak about four-dimensional transformation, right? And if you look at anybody in this world, uh, everyone transforms, either for the good or not for the good. But transformation is the name of the game because everything is transient. That's the nature of this world. Everything is temporary. That's what even Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. The two characteristics, one of the two main characteristics of this material world is Dukhalaya. This place somehow provides you misery. That of course it does give you a solution to misery as well. But then another aspect or feature of this world is it's transient. It's temporary. Change is the name of the game, as we call it. So now when we talk about this four-dimensional transformation, everybody, either you transform or you change by design or you change by default. But change is must, right? What I'm going to do is just going to put my phone on silent and fine. So there's no more disturbance from there. I changed it, right? I changed the setting. Yes. So you either change by design or you change by default. Now let's talk about this four-dimensional transformation. The first transformation that people want to make is in their bodies. I call it the physical transformation. And this is something that's visible. It's visible. You kind of see somebody having transformed. And of course, one natural way of transforming that happens is we go from childhood to youth, from youth to maturity, and then going on to old age, which nobody wants. And yes, so that's the statement that comes in the Bhagavad Gita. Again, I remember this very famous shloka or the verse which is spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. Dehi nosmin yatha dehi Kaumaram Yauvanam Jara Tata Dehantara Praptir Dhiras Tatra Namuhyati. So in this particular verse, Lord Krishna talks about who is a dhira or a sober person, an intelligent person, a controlled person. He's that person who is not bewildered by such kind of changes that occur naturally. So that's one aspect of this physical change. But however, people do different kinds of exercises. They build habits in order to build strength, right? They train their bodies in such a way that they can have high endurance. They have visible muscles and loss of fat. Sometimes people even put on weight, whatever it is. So this is physical transformation. That's the first one. So in one sense, we can say that this kind of transformation is one of the most superficial transformations which is existing. Can we go to the next one? Yeah, the second one. The second dimensional transformation is the change of mind. Now, this mind is deeper than the body because we are going to be discussing about the realm of thoughts, emotions, desires, impulses, right? All these stuff. Yeah, and if you look at the nature of mind is spoken. Bhagavad Gita really has analyzed the mind so well. Yes, it's analyzed so well. It is not actually Krishna who speaks this verse, it's Arjuna who says it. Now here Krishna is the divine being and Arjuna is playing the role of a conditioned soul, like a layperson like all of us. And Krishna says, oh come on, these things are simple. Arjuna says, come on, you God, you don't know what it means to be a conditioned soul. You cannot be in my shoes. So let me tell you what's mind. Then he goes on to speak that verse, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavat dhridam tasyaham nigraham manya vayoriva sudushkaram. So Arjuna here very beautifully spills out what is the nature of mind. Mind is turbulent. It's very hard to. It's restless, right? And it is obstinate. And yeah, we all have experience of all this stuff. Yes. So it's very powerful when it comes to its urges. They come very powerful. So just for example, now you guys made up your mind and you did turn up for this program, and I would like to give you a round of applause to each and every one of you who is here in the room. And you can applaud for yourself, please. Applaud for yourself and applaud for everybody. Bola, don't applaud if you're driving. Don't do that. We're able to see you. And the others who have kept their videos off, we are totally fine, but I hope you're also applauding with us. And we applaud for your presence. Okay, so you made it. Now, something happens. Now, we suppose there was another student who was supposed to make it here, right? We were expecting that person. We were to ask, oh, where were you? Why didn't you come? I just changed my mind. I was going to come. Yeah, I did RSVP and I did tell you that I'm coming, but I changed my mind. Yes, it's another change. But when we talk about mental transformation, the mental transformation is not these unstable natures of mind just displaying now. That's not the mental transformation we talk about, right? Or people say, I changed my mind. But changing of the mind is actually in gaining that maturity, right? In the maturity is gained by eliminating those thoughts which are not very conducive. Because let's analyze. I would like to give a small activity to all these wonderful people who have joined us. I would like you all to put this in the chat. What are the broad categories of thoughts that you get? Let us see. How's your thinking? What are the broad category of thoughts? I'm not telling what you're thinking right now, but I'm saying how will you categorize it? What's the broad category? Let's see who's gonna come up with something first. Okay, everything I need to do at work, house chores, etc. These are called as routine thoughts. Good. Routine thoughts. This is our routine. Very good. So that's the broad category. Anyone else? Well, fine. Just put your thoughts. Family, community. Oh, Grace, you're here. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Grace, a very lovely person I met yesterday evening. She had come to our temple and she had come in traditional Indian wear. And I was quite fascinated, so I just asked her, like, what happened? How come you were inspired? She says, oh, this is a very sacred place, and when you come up to this place, then you do come in this particular fashion. I was like really impressed and inspired. Thank you, Grace, for showing up. And we have Shreya who's thinking about past and future. Yes, right? Thinking about past. Of course, if you're reflecting on the past to learn from mistakes, that's useful. But we simply, our thoughts are about, we go on the guilt trip. Oh, this I shouldn't have done. I did this. Oh, this happened. We get into moroseness. That's wasteful thoughts. Another Zoom user, Prabhu, whoever you are, please, I'm definitely sure you must be having a wonderful name. So can you please rename yourself so that we get to know who gave this brilliant idea of creative thoughts, right? What shall I do to make my situation better overall? Yes, these are again constructive thoughts. Constructive thoughts. Work, Vancouver friends, and temple music, creative thoughts. I thought music will come first for you, Shivam, especially your mridanga dugi that you play. Anyways, he's still tapping. He cannot stop. He's tapping his lap, and he's playing it good. I like the vibe. Okay, so yes, so that's something again. I would say mix of routine. What can I do to better? Okay, so constructive thoughts. So in one sense, we have routine thoughts, we have constructive thoughts, we have destructive thoughts, and we have useless thoughts. There's just four categories. That's it. That's how scientifically the thoughts of the mind are categorized into. And the maturity of the mind or the transformation of the mind lies in eliminating the destructive thoughts which are negative in nature. Eliminate that, and we hold constructive thoughts. And how does this happen? So people practice various methods. Some of them journal, noting down the reflections, becoming aware of the thoughts that you have, because we have 60,000 thoughts every day, and we want to categorize and where exactly am I dwelling. There's meditation done. People offer prayer, have a regulated life. Yes, there is a deep connection between our breathing, our relaxation of the body and the mind. So people do that. And one of the most powerful age-old spiritual techniques that people use is the mantra meditation, right? Mantra meditation. That's the path of Bhakti Yoga. So these are the different ways of. So I just want to hold a break. I know I just given out two dimensions. I'm the one talking and I'm not very comfortable with this monologue. So I would like to give the mic back to Malvika here.
Thank you. I
Two
also
more
just
to go, but then still you can talk.
fair enough. I also just wanted to acknowledge someone else that's new that joined. Kajol, thank
Please
you so
do.
much for joining.
Hey,
Um,
Kajal.
I know she's this is her first time joining, so thank you so much for joining. And I also appreciated your answer in terms of emotional thoughts in the chat as well.
Mhm.
Um, I guess like when I was hearing you speak, you were mentioning all the different varieties of thoughts that run through our mind. I don't remember the exact number, but I know it's an absurd number of thoughts that we have on a day-to-day basis.
It's
So
60,000. Some say it's 70,000. I know it's crazy.
it's probably why I don't remember this number. So in terms of training your mind or understanding which thoughts are conducive for change, which thoughts are going to get you, from level A to level B to level C to level D, can you give some practical tips on how you can decipher between those thoughts and then how you can actually know which ones you should pick up on, and which ones you should just pretty much disregard or let go of?
Yeah. No, first of all, I like to give the importance of doing this activity. Why at all to decipher? Why do we decipher this? Mm, And the true reason being, my dear friends, is mind is very powerful and mental energy has to be focused in a particular direction on one particular thing. And that is the focus that really gets us that effectiveness, that efficacy that we say. So that's why mental energy shouldn't be drained. Just like we know the power of focus. How many of you tried, focusing the sun rays with the help of this magnifying glass and burning a paper. Have you done that? You know, done this experiment? I've done this all my childhood. Come on. Go out there and try it. Get a magnifying glass. Of course, the sun doesn't come in Canada. If you're Canadians, there's no sun. You'll have to go to India to do this. Just kidding. The summer is going to come very soon. We're going to be witnessing summer, but do this. So that particular activity shows the power of focus. So much of mental energy is surely wasted. We're wasting it on unnecessary negative thoughts, destructive thoughts of harming someone, etc., etc. They're not meant to be. And just by eliminating those through these some of the practices that I mentioned, we are going to be very powerful at what we do. People who are successful in any walk of life, yes, they're successful, super successful people. They are successful because they have controlled the mind. Even in the Vedic times, which sometimes people call it the prehistoric times, the first and foremost training, the subject matter, which was first taught to the students, is how to control the mind. We don't find it in today's curriculum, but that's really sad. But this is how the education would start, by understanding how to control the mind. And all these techniques, which I mentioned, I spoke about diaphragmatic breathing, I spoke about journaling, relaxation, right? Taking micro breaks, macro breaks between your works. These all are essential needs, especially when we are in a fast-paced life. It's very important that we sit down for some time and we spend some time with ourselves. How many of you have a habit of going out for a walk? Good. What do you do when you go out for a walk? You put your earphones and you go there listening to music. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're losing an opportunity. Of course, I would say do it for some time, but then we're losing the time, the self time there is. The personal time, time with yourself, you're losing that. That's the time that you're going to, it's a very great detox. You're just getting rid of all the negative thoughts and then you are kind of becoming aware mentally. That's the purpose of taking walk. It's to have mental awareness, right? How many of you have a habit of journaling? Yes, this is very important, right? As you write, especially practice, the journaling should be done on, I do it. I'm not going to show you what I've journaled. I do it. I'm not going to show. These are my personal reflections. I'm not going to give it to anyone. But the point is, it should be on a white sheet. It should be with blue ink and cursive writing. 3 parameters. Try it. Try it. Really try it. This really helps us to, your mind just pour out your mind on a paper. Do it. This is the way we are getting where we are. Getting to know yourself. Yes. Another very important, we are all social beings. It's very important for a person. I was just listening to one of the, I'm doing a course. This course is Trauma Informed Leadership. When I was just going through one of the modules, and that module spoke about the kids in the time of the World War II. They were all put together in one particular hospital room, and there were nurses. Time to time would feed the babies milk, and they would change their diapers, so that way the babies stay they are good. But they were observing that most of the babies weren't surviving, but they were getting the nourishment, they were getting milk, their diapers being changed, they kept clean. Why is it that they were dying? Because the babies need more than that. They need that personal touch, they need the care, they need the warmth, they need the love, without which, if they don't get this, they may be getting the milk, they may be getting a space, warm, a blanket or something like that, but till the time they don't get that, the warmth that comes from love and affection, they give up on living. They don't want to live. That's what happens to those babies. So right from the beginning, we are people who need this kind of genuine relationship, at least, and we are social beings, at least with a person. We need this one person whom we can talk anything and everything. We trust this person. We have a trustworthy relationship where if I confide in this person, it's not going to be out in the social media tomorrow, right? So that kind of a relationship is a need. And if we have a healthy community, and that's what we are trying to create here, my dear friends. We're trying to create a safe space, a healthy community, offline, online, wherein each one of us feel sheltered. That's the main purpose of this association that we're having. So this is again a need. In such kind of ambience and atmosphere, we clear that clutter and all the negativity. It goes out. It goes on. The detox happens very beautifully. And when the mental detox happens, you're all fresh to focus your mental energy on which you're meant to focus. Yeah. Two more to go. What should I do?
I don't know whether my question will tie into those two, but I also wanted to welcome Minnie. She also joined for the first time. There's a lot of
Okay,
first
where
timers
am I?
today, so just
Right.
wanted to
Hi,
thank
Minnie's here. Yeah,
everyone.
I know her.
um, my question becomes, and it's a twofold question, so you can see whether
I
it fits
still have
into
two
the
more
two.
dimensions to go.
I know maybe it ties into those two. I don't know, but
Try.
but
Let's see.
my question is, in the Bhakti
Hmm.
yoga faith, we are exposed to a particular set of wisdom literatures. By reading wisdom literatures, maybe by engaging in meditation, sometimes it can provide some level of clarity. Some people may say it may provide some level of insight or intelligence in understanding how to necessarily maneuver a particular situation, or really try and understand how to go about this interchange. um so that's my first part, is to say, does that, like, if you can speak a little bit about that and the impact of doing that, and whether that actually leads to any sort of tangible transformational change. And my other part to the question is, I've also heard that um, by engaging with like-minded people, reading with wisdom literatures, meditation, listening to different classes, or discussions, like kind of how we're doing here, it can also inspire some change within the heart. So whether you show up differently, whether you want to change a course of direction, which can also signal some internal change. And so if you can talk a little bit about any of that, and I don't know if it ties into your ones, but I thought I would just ask.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making it easy for me to steer my boat towards the direction where I was heading. Right. The third dimension, we were talking about this because I'll be able to answer your first question when I complete my other two dimensions, and I'll be addressing your second question as I speak right away. So thank you for that. Thank you for making it easy. The third dimensional change that happens is the intellectual change, right? Now, in this world, we find that people do go to different kinds of, educational institutions. They become well informed. They perform self-study by reading and gaining more knowledge. You know something? Just by sitting around books, that's the most conducive environment for having any study related discussion or performing any study related activity. How many of you seen there are very good intellectual personalities, they have their bookshelves displayed behind and they give their podcasts and talks? Have you seen that? There's a science behind that. There's actually a science because every book carries a vibration. And I just recently I was in, not that I love going there. It's a beautiful place, beautiful people. The people are really good there. Devotees are really good. The place is something which I couldn't connect much. That's Regina, Saskatchewan. I was there for some time, and I know many of you are grinning and laughing. So I was there. Each time I had to go there, I like, no, Krishna, this is really a test of my my resilience is being tested here. So I went there, and there's a very amazing personality. His name is Jagannath Prabhu, and he's 93 today. He's 93-year-old gentleman, and still his intellect is very sound. Yes, very sound intellect. So I had gone into his library, I could say, his book room where he has all the books, collections from 1940s, 50s. He's a Oxford graduate, a war veteran, and one of the most influential personalities in the state of Saskatchewan. I can go on, and he's an amazing palmist. He reads. He can just look and he can tell you everything, but he doesn't give it for free. So, but the point is, I just entered into a study, and wow, it was it was a totally different experience altogether because of the books and the collection that he had. I remember even in India when I entered into uh, a temple. It's called the Juhu Temple. It's one of the temples which were built under the direction of the founder of our society, Srila Prabhupada. So he had done this in the way back in the 70s. Even they have a library where all spiritual books kept together. And it's a totally different experience altogether. That's why people, many of them, want to sit in the library and study, because that really facilitates that environment. So that's another intellectual change that people have. They go to mentoring, they go through coaching, yes, and one sharpens one's intellectual capacities. However, the intelligence that we are talking about here, I'm talking about some material intelligence, even other aspects. We spoke about the material aspect, but now I'm talking about the spiritual aspect of intelligence. The spiritual aspect of intelligence is when the intelligence learns to develop the faculties of reasoning, discrimination, understanding, deliberation. These are all subtleties one is able to do, because ultimately we find English is a very beautiful language. The life starts with the letter B for birth and ends with D for death. Whereas in the sequence of all alphabets, there's always a letter between the B and D, which is a C for choice. And we become successful. Of course, the capabilities that one has, yes, but at the same time, a person who's successful has repeatedly made proper choices. And to make the right choices, of course, even if you make a wrong choice, you learn and then you rectify your choice. So, choices in the course of life is something. Our life is full of choice. In fact, every moment is full of choices that we have. And we choose the right one, we pick the right choice. And that's what propels us ahead in the direction where we want to head towards. Right? So, that what really influences the intellect is their ability to make the right choice. Yes. In fact, clarity. Yes, a moral clarity, ethical clarity, spiritual clarity. That clarity makes us get the right choices done. Right. So that's the third dimensional change. So we saw the physical transformation. We spoke about the mental transformation. The third one is the intellectual transformation or change. And finally, what is the spiritual transformation? What is the spiritual transformation? Spiritual transformation is called the change of heart. The change of heart. Now, in spirituality, we often talk about the six kind of vices. The six vices. How many of you know what are the six vices? I'll spell it vices. 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 What are the six vices? Anyone? Try it. Anger. That's good, Neha. Lust, greed, envy. We got 4 out of 6. 2 more to go. Okay, sloth. Want to phrase it the other way? Kajal, good one. That will, yes, you come close. Okay, we call it laziness, sloth, or we call it illusion. Okay, 5. I give it to you. And pride. Very good. How many of you want to remember this as you walk out of this Zoom meeting room? You want to remember it? I have an easy way. If you have these 6 vices, watch the screen, or watch your chat. There is a gap that lies between you and your higher self. There's a gap that lies between you and your higher self if you have the six. G for greed, A for anger, P for pride, L for lust, I for illusion, and E for envy. So that brings us back to your first question. Remember, Malvika? You asked me about what really drives you to change, because I don't want to see this gap. This gap should go. We need to bridge this gap. So that is what is called the change of heart. The change of heart is about transforming these vices into virtues. So let's do that. Let's at least find out where we need to go to. What should greed transform to? Anyway, and there's no one correct answer for this. It can be many. Everyone has this greed. Giving, that's beautiful. I would call it abundance. A mentality of abundance. And that comes with giving. Very nice, Jill. Anyone else? There can be multiple answers. Generosity, giving, abundance mentality. It's all correct. All right. Anger. Anger, when it is destructive in nature, it's no good for anyone. But anger can also be used for constructive purpose. So we're talking about that anger which is a vice, not the virtue. So what should anger, the unnecessary anger which destroys, what should that transform into? Anyone? Try. Tolerance is great. Shreya, very good. Forgiveness, very good. Surrender, gratitude, good. A drive to change things. That's the constructive use of answer mini, very nice. Anger should turn into compassion. Yes. So, no, all your answers are correct. I'm just telling you an answer that's there in the scriptures. Anger should transform into compassion. Very good. You can transform into all these. Okay, next, pride. Pride should transform into, this is easy. This is very easy. Humility. See, I said everyone's going to get it. That's right. Pride should one should be humble. And humility happens when we truly acknowledge our shortcomings. Yes. Okay, yeah. Now lust. Lust should transform into, even this is easy. Lust transforms into the same letter standing. Love, yes. It should transform into love. And the beauty, this answer is given by Neha Prabhu, and the meaning of Neha is love, actually. That's the meaning of Neha. Nice. Okay, lust. And then illusion. Illusion should transform into knowledge. Correct. It transforms into knowledge. And finally, envy. We should transform envy to what? This is also quite simple. You get it, don't worry, you'll all get it. Envy should convert into, okay, edification. Yeah. What else? I want a simpler word for that. Gratitude, okay. Yeah, good. It can, right? It can. Why not? Love, Keshava, is taken already. Love is taken. Should be eliminated. Oh, kindness. Okay. Envy, the antidote for envy that's mentioned in the wisdom literature is appreciation. Appreciation. Because envy is indirect appreciation. So that's the nature of envy. It's an indirect appreciation. You are indirectly appreciating person. Why not appreciate directly? That's the key to transform. Direct appreciation. Right? So that's very important. Okay, so now you spoke about the heart transformation and we discussed about it. Okay. Another thing, you asked about the path of bhakti. What kind of transformation happens when we adopt this path of bhakti? All of it. Everything happens. Yes, it happens on all levels. The transformation happens on all levels when one takes to bhakti. Yes, because the path of bhakti gives us a particular diet that we follow. You accept and you become what you eat. This is a statement of Bhagavad Gita again. Annat bhavanti bhutani. Anna is food, and bhuta is the material body that we have. So annat bhavanti bhutani, what you eat, you become. In the sense, your physical transformation happens at the level of the body. It happens. You get that, and you eat sanctified food. We call it the sacred meal. You have that. Yes, this is it's a transformation in the body in that way. Mentally, the practice of mantra meditation. That is something which we repeat the prayer. We chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And the very meaning of mantra is that which transforms the mind. Man-tra. Man is mind, tra is transform. So anything that transforms the mind is mantra. Intellect is sharpened, intellectual acumen, spiritual intellect is built through the philosophy that's there in the wisdom literature. We read the scripture regularly, we come in contact with that, and we philosophically also transform. Our intellect is sharpened. And last but not the least, all these practices, when we are doing it in the right habitat, the right environment, it leads to the change of heart, the transformation of heart, because that's the whole essence of the path of bhakti. It becomes, the bhakti is not just when you are with your core practices, which we call as sadhana. No. Bhakti is right in every walk of your life. Bhakti is the way. That's why we call it the Bhakti Yoga way. So Bhakti Yoga doesn't just start at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time and ends at 8:45 CDT. No. Or MDT, 7:45 MDT. It's over. No. The Bhakti Yoga way is a way that the way we talk, the way we eat, the way we deal, the way we work, the way we sleep. It's in every aspect of our life. Does that make sense?
Thank you. I have so many more follow-up questions, but I know that we have a couple minutes with you, so I'd like to
So
hear from you.
what we can do is we can take a part two when I come probably next time. We can continue from where we left. That could
Yeah,
be done. That's a suggestion that I have.
yeah.
If yeah,
Um, but I know we have a couple minutes, so maybe what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it up to anyone in the audience that wants to reflect anything that um, they resonated with, any follow-up questions that they potentially have. This is your chance to ask Sanatana Dharma Prabhu one-to-one. So if anyone has any questions they'd like to kick off.
left in left in Prabhu. You can go ahead, unmute and go ahead. Yes, left in Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dear Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. I listened very carefully. Actually, on my mind came the question. I'm understanding that I little bit drowning into the illusion because my mind recently bringing me back to my past memories, and it's bringing me feelings of nostalgia. And I'm understanding that I'm drowning into the illusion because it's already not existing. I'm understanding that I have had multiple other lives before. I just don't remember them, so I don't want to catch up with illusion. And antagonist of that is knowledge. What's the knowledge you would suggest to me? Pay attention on to just get off of this at least illusion. When my mind bringing me to look at this, look at this, look at that. Remember how it was. Oh, you miss this person, you miss that person because they passed away like that. What's your
Yes.
suggestion will be, Prabhu?
Yes. Thank you, left in Prabhu. And the answer that I'm going to be giving you is based, and I'm very grateful to Mother Shukavaha. She's the one who rang me up, and she's talking about this trauma-informed leadership. And that's something which I'm doing this course. I'm right on the week one, but all I can say, because that's a traumatic experience that you're talking about. Yes, a repeated pattern of stressful situation coming again and again is a traumatic pattern. No, you're not talking about that? Yes or no?
Actually, not. It's like even a good past times, even
Okay,
good
okay.
past times. Uh, just they are coming, and I understand it that it's trying to absorb me back. and trying my put my conscious something that already not existing. I'm trying to cut them. I'm trying to explain myself
Okay, okay,
everything,
okay. Fine,
but
fine, fine. You talk about
yeah.
some kind of illusory situation coming up.
Yes, what I'm calling illusion, for example, how I was 3 years old and how I went into the one stadium and how the grass was green and my grandma was still alive and so happy and there is war no war. It was very calm and peaceful life. I was so feel kind of safe and I understood what will be next day because I can improvise. I can uh, to develop somehow, not just survive. Uh, this kind of experiences are coming back on me, but still I'm understanding that if they are coming back, it's telling me something, okay, fine, but still I don't want to drown. I want to stay in the reality of today and just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
actually,
feel
dear
like,
Leftin Prabhu,
yes, yes, yes.
these are all responses to the trauma that has happened. Yes, this illusion, because I'm studying this, I'm trying to tell you that these are response. Trauma is not the incident, it is the response. Yes, that you're facing. Because the mode is many times the mind is in the mode of not acceptance, denial. And when we're in the denial, no, no, it's not like this. Then what happens is the illusion portrays a rosy picture in front of us. Oh, things are all good, great. And now you're connecting? You're connecting now? Yes. So it is first thing we have to switch is from a denial, we have to come to the mode of acceptance. You have to accept. Okay, whatever has we have lost some loved ones, it has happened. We need to accept it. If there is a war that has broken out, it took place, you have to accept it. Whatever losses we had in the war, we need to accept it. And the trauma that we had through the war, yes, accept it. It's there. That experience is there with me. But all that one has to know is life doesn't end there. There is hope. There is hope. There's hope for me to live. There is hope for me to change. Yes, and there's a hope for me to even contribute. So, how we get beyond this illusion? I've learned two things and I would like to repeat it. Number one is we acknowledge and accept what happened. Yes, we don't deny it. And number two, we look for the hope that life is there, life is giving us at present, rather than brooding about the past. Is it okay for now? Thank you, Left and Pro. Thank you so much.
I see Kajal on my screen next. So Kajal, maybe we'll ask you to unmute.
Hi, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kajal.
Um, okay, so I'm so sorry. I just got, I just got touched by today's session, and I'm so much emotional today. Uh, I think that, for my, I am like too much emotional. Like whenever I see people are struggling from the situation, poverty, or they don't have a food to eat, and in every parts of the world. Whenever I see something on a social media or somewhere, I feel very much connected. I mean, like I know that I am kind and I have a emotional, kind of thing towards the people, but it is affecting in my personal life as well. I mean, like I'm getting too much emotional. I start crying. I think about it a lot. I can't control myself, right? I cry day and night, and then there are so many things that are happening in my life as well, but I just forget which is happening in my life. I think about people's life and what are they doing, and I have seen a guy yesterday who was suffering from something, and then I gave him a food or whatever I can do it. But sometimes I feel that I don't have enough money. Even I'm also struggling. I want to help people, but I can't do it. So I think too much about it. I don't know, but I overthink. I just don't know how to overcome from all those things. I just don't know.
Thank you, Kajal, for confiding in us. One good thing that I see in this is you have a very compassionate and a soft heart, which is a very, very conducive heart to practice the path of bhakti. And now, what you need to do is convert this particular emotion into action. Emotions, when we just store the emotion, like you just keep storing and pouring the emotion, then we can get drowned in that emotion. That's what is happening. Now, emotion has always got to be into some convertible action. Now, how are you going to express your compassion? You have a purpose now. You have a purpose. Your purpose is not just to change yourself. Your purpose now is to bring about some change in the society. We will not be able to change the world. Thinking that is quite utopian, right? But all we can do is we can change within, and we can try to influence some lives connected to us as far as we have been blessed with. Everyone is blessed with different capabilities. So we can definitely make some difference to the world. That is something we can do, right? So it's high time you think how you can channelize your compassion and give your emotion a drive. Channelize them to kind of put it into some kind of constructive action and start working on that. Else what happens is one gets sucked into the too much of emotion and thoughts. So that's one of the, I'm not telling this is necessarily overthinking, but then overthinkers are usually advised to get practical. Yes, to get practical and do something. Okay. Can we just have a small acknowledgement from Kajal if that's fine? Is she there? Yeah, she's there. Was it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You get well, no? Yeah, you'll come
Yeah.
on it. Just get it into action. Sure.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I see Jill next, and then I'm also just being mindful of time. Should we take Jill, and then we'll take one more after Jill, and then, like Prabhu said, maybe we can do a part 2 once he comes back, or we can pick this topic up at some point next time. So
Well,
Jill
we
will,
should be doing that. Yes.
so Jill will take you next. I'm just
I
gonna.
thought we had 1 more hour, right? My question needs that much time.
I wish we had 1 more hour.
But thank you so much, Prabhu. Like this was a wonderful session, and I see like so many hearts are touched. And like thank you for like bringing this topic. Actually, this was one of the topics that, of course, I always think about. Like bringing a change in myself or uh, getting into a better situation overall. But then like sometimes I struggle with this is that like si- since we talked about like self-help books and everything, outside of bhakti duration, like my question to you is like there are twofold questions. I'll try to put it in one, but then it's like how to get the most advantage out of the, because for me it is like I get more inclined towards self-help books and everything. Now if I see some other self-help book like outside of Bhaktivedanta, I feel like, okay, if I'm gonna read this, how can I take the advantage of it to the most and getting not affected by the material energy from it? The, there are
I
like also like there are like also certain concepts like self-talk, visualization. Like what is the right like perspective or your perspective? What is your mindset towards it, like in terms of bhakti?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Uh, I would like to rephrase Jill's question in such a way. Many times we get into self-help books and forget self-realization. Right, we can get drowned too much into materialism because there's a lot of material energy that's associated with these kind of things that drives you to go into the material world, and then bhakti goes for a toss. So how is it that we apply the good principles that are mentioned in the self-help books while being focused in the path of bhakti? Because not necessarily all the principles that are spoken in the self-help books may be conducive or compatible with the bhakti yoga. Am I making sense? Your question. Okay, got it. All right. Now, to be very honest, I've been an avid reader of self-help books in my life prior to taking up to the process of bhakti very seriously. Before being a serious practitioner, I was. And you'll be surprised. And in fact, it's an obvious truth. Everybody sitting here has that brains. It's the same principles that people are speaking all over everywhere. Every book has the self-help book doesn't change. The stories change. Yeah, the statistics change. The dynamics change. But the principle doesn't change. Yes. If the one ingredient that you need for success in any walk of life is discipline. Without discipline, you cannot go. And every self-help book is going to talk about it. It's not going to change. The discipline spelling is not going to change. People might put it in another way, but then that's not going to change. Right? And when we talk about now these aspects, there are certain things that are coming up now. People are talking about self-talk. People talk about you mentioned about this kind of breathing technique, 3-to-1 technique, breathe. And how do we do all these things? Well, we need to understand that these techniques do work. They do work. They're time tested. They because they follow a particular principle. Yes, how do people control their minds? People control their mind initially by having a proper breathing pattern. Pranayama, that's what is Patanjali Yoga Sutra also teaching us. It's nothing different. Right? If you talk about the process of journaling or writing, now this is a very healthy practice. People would write lots and lots of writing on the palm leaves in the Vedic times. This existed. They had memories. They had perfect memories. They would remember everything, eidetic memory, but still they would write. Why they would write? They did not write because they would forget. No, they wrote because it's a practice. It's an art. It's an art of when you carve, you're actually processing yourself. It's a process. It's a processing of the brain that's happening. Right? So these all techniques have always existed. Right? But what is very important is that we connect to the purpose. Don't keep what I'm going to do whole life. I'm just going to read self-help books. What about what are you going to do with your life? Don't just read the books. That's it. Apply it nowhere. No. Even applying one principle that you learned, just one principle is good enough. All are going to tell you the same thing. Be disciplined, be regulated in life, and be consistent in your actions. Have a process-oriented approach. They're not going to change. So follow the one principle and you're going to be successful. Right? You don't need to learn something new somewhere. That's my experience of self-help. People are just telling in the books, the successful books, how those principles help them to become successful. That's what they talk about. There's nothing new that's there. Is it okay? Sure.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm not the fun police because I have to cut and I have to stick to time. And we've gone a couple minutes over, so I'm really sorry. But before we go, I have one desire to hear from everyone. What is, maybe to summarize in 2 words, I know it's going to be super difficult, but to summarize in 2 words, whether you took something away, what the session meant to you, how you resonated with the session. So we're going to go in order of whoever I see on my screen. And I'm just going to call out on people, and basically 2 words. This way we can hear from everyone, and I want to hear from everyone. And we'll start off with Nandini because Jill and Kajol already gave some time to speak. So Nandini, you're up.
Where is she? Okay, you're here.
Oh, I don't know if she's not muted. She's still muted.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, so you said 2 words, gadfly. Those are my 2 words.
Nice. Thank you. Shivam, you're next. Shivam, you're next.
Okay, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give every one of you control to mute yourself. Now you can unmute and talk. Every one of you. Yeah.
The example of English B, D, and C.
Okay. BCD. That's 3 letters. Okay. You still get it. You get the points. You got to unmute, Malvika. You're not.
Oh, sorry. Shreya?
Envy, appreciation.
Yes. Appreciation is the antidote for envy. Nice.
Minnie?
Mine is also gadfly.
Gadfly.
Okay. You like that one. Okay.
Nice. Okay, I see Shameshwari on my screen next.
Choice matters.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool. Neha, who I understand is our other Nandini.
Oh, what? I just remember compassion and yeah.
Yeah. Anger to compassion. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. My mom is next, Mohini Murthy. I don't know if she's unable to mute though. If not, we'll skip her. And then the last person I see is Kamal.
Yes, Kamal Deer Prabhu. It come to Calgary, right?
Thanks. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, I was latecomer in the class, so I will just listen to everyone else.
No.
Thank you so much.
We also had Vedang.
He
Vedang is here.
also was able to come in just to catch the last couple of minutes.
Okay, he just came to catch a glimpse.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Prabhuji.
Sure. Hare Krishna. Welcome, Vedang, nevertheless. And others, I guess others spoke. So.
Oh no, he froze. Oh, you froze, sorry.
Okay, you froze for me and I froze for you. So in fact, yeah, I don't know from where it happened. Yes. Saying that others spoke, they did get a chance to speak. So
yes.
yeah,
Prabhu,
good.
can I ask you what your 2 words are from the session?
My 2 words. Very nice.
Nice. Thank you all so much. Prabhu, thank you so much for coming on and staying with us for the full hour and really sharing some deep, wonderful insights on the topic of change and transformation. We'll be back next Thursday as well with another speaker, new topic. So we hope to see you guys here on Thursdays.
We need to have a part 2 because we have not spoken about the catalyst.
I know.
No
We'll have
catalyst.
a part 2.
Yeah.
We'll plan it.
Definitely. Sure.
So thank you all so much. Newcomers, existing ones, current people, everyone that takes the time to tune in with us every single Thursday. And I hope to see you next Thursday as well. Okay. Haribol.
Take care. Haribol. Hare Krishna. See you all.